Hello friends, today's topic is project formulation. In the last session, we have discussed about the planning. Once the planning over, then comes is the formulation. See, formulation means here we are relating the different activities. See, whenever we are telling a project, just planning is not enough. How we are carrying out those plans is very, very essential. That is what is the project formulation that we will discuss today. Now we will see what is project formulation. The project formulation is a process is a collection of interrelated actions, activities that takes place in order to achieve a set of previously specified products, results, or services. It is nothing but we have planned what has to be done in my business or what is my project actually. Once you plan, then you will going to relate the each and every activities from where the raw material has to come, what are the machineries has to run, who has to do, how many human resource I have to have at last to achieve the set goal or to receive the products which I want to produce through my business. That is what is the project formulation. See, the project formulation is nothing but a systematic expression of those plans. So here they are going to put those plans in a realistic way, in a reliable base, based on their actual experiences or environment, along with the trends forecasted for the forthcoming years. So this is very, very essential. The planning, if you stop there only planning, then our project may not be successful. Once you plan, you have to formulate in an efficient and effective way, see that whatever for the product for which I have planned, that has to come out. It is a process whereby entrepreneur makes an objective and assessment of various aspects of an investment proposition of a project ideas for determining its total impacts and all its liabilities. See, if you come with respect to an entrepreneur, the project formulation means here he has planned everything, and based on his plan, which are all the area where he has to invest, how much amount and how much amount is available with him or the capital is available with him, and what will be his liability if he won't be able to manage with that finance. That is what he will going to formulate during this project formulation. Some of the prerequisites for the project formulation is, the first one is roadmap for the new venture. See, I always have a new idea in my mind. I want to do like this. I want to do that one. I have to bring this product, but I must have a certain roadmap to reach that target. So always before starting project formulation, you must have a roadmap for whichever the new venture you have planned. And the next one is the capital investment. Very, very essential. Without a money, we cannot do any work. What are the amount or the budget requirement of that is very, very essential. Government regulations. What is the rules and regulations of the government? What should be the capacity? Where I have to start? What is the legal procedure? That should be there. And the next is skilled workforce. If I start that project, whether I could able to get a skilled workforce to do the work in an efficient way or in an effective way. Next is the technology. Is that technology is available for me or affordable for me to adapt in my project? That has to be seen. These 5 factors has to be considered before going for a project formulation. What are the objectives of this project formulation? There are 2 objectives. The first one is the general objective and the second one is the operational objective. The general objective will going to state in the achievement, about the achievement, that is what these we used to call as the expected outcome of the project. The general objective is what I want out of my project, what the product I want to brought out from my enterprise or my activities or my business. And the second objective is the operational objectives. It is mainly concerned with the implementation of the project. The first one is the outcome of the project general, and the operational objective is about the implementation of the object. What will be the expected result from the implementation of the project? What are the problems I may face? What are all the advantages I may get what all the benefits I may get will be the operational objectives of a project formulation. What are the scope of project formulation? The first one is the project formulation helps us to get the general information about my project. For example, if everybody is coming out with the packed food, or everybody is coming out with the pickling making, then how my product has to move to the market, or what is the demand in the market about. Then comes is the product. Based on that demand, I will going to decide about what type of product I have to bring. See, nowadays the pickling is, for example, if I am taking the pickle, or we can say that the products, for example, the processed products. Nowadays, everybody is giving more importance for health concern means they want organic products, green products. So what should be my product for the market to grab the attention of the customer? The market potential. Is there any potential in the market if I introduce the new product to the market? See, potential means there should be some demand for the market. If nobody wants your product in the market, and if you go out with your product and nobody will buy, and you will end up with loss in your enterprise. So you should see that also in the formulation stage requires, this is market potential, what the market potential is. Working capital, how much money is required to run my business is very, very essential. It is not the one-time investment when we are telling about a enterprise or a business. Once we are making initial investment, and in the throughout the project lifetime, we have to keep some working capital for that. Manufacturing cost. What is the cost of production? Whether I can give some profit margin to the customer by reducing the cost of the product, whether by minimal cost of production I can come out with the less price products so that I can grab majority of the customer in the market, that I should see. And then the financial analysis. The financial analysis is nothing but how I have to invest my money in the different stages, what should be the borrowed, what should be my own money, and how much the circulation of the money should be there in my project. And apart from this, it is about the surroundings. Next comes is your plant and machinery. If I want to start some organic product, what are all the types of machinery is required, where I have to establish that plant, what is the cost is related, and the location of your enterprise, where I am locating. For example, we could able to see, or whenever you go out to a market, you used to think that this shop is in this right place, that's why he is having very good business. And this man, see how he has placed his shop, so nobody is approaching his shop and all. So the location is also very, very essential. The raw materials. When you want to come out with the new product, you must have a raw materials for your product in the manufacturing process. So from where I'll get the raw materials for my production? It is very, very essential. Utilities. The utilities is very, very essential. All the utilities are required. And is the capital cost. So these are the some of the scope of project formulation. So these will be, we will going to get the information about all these aspects. Once you collect all these aspects, then it comes is the stages of project formulation. There are different stages. The first one is the feasibility analysis. Next is the techno-economic analysis. Next is the project design and network analysis, input analysis. Fifth stage is the financial analysis. Sixth is the cost benefit analysis. And the seventh is pre-investment analysis. Now we will see one by one what is feasibility analysis. The feasibility, as the name itself indicates, that whether my project is feasible for a particular situation, for the resources available, for the financial proposal which I am having, all the things you have to see the feasibility. When we are telling about the feasibility, it may be in terms of economical, technical, operational, or scheduled feasibility. Economical feasibility in terms of cost benefit analysis. Technical feasibility is risk involved in assessing the potentiality of your project. Operational feasibility is about the efficiency, service, control, everything. And scheduled feasibility is in terms of estimation of timeliness of optimization of the resources. That is nothing but efficient utilization of the resources such that you can complete the work within a time and get higher profit out of it. So this has to be seen in a feasibility study. That is includes both internal and external constraints, and you may going to face during your enterprise, and you have to do some market analysis before going out with your product. Next, there are different stages of feasibility. The first stage of feasibility is pre-feasibility study. The pre-feasibility study means here the preliminary assessment of the project will be done. And we will going to decide how much has to be invested. And we will going to analyze critically the situation in which we are making the investment or we are starting the business. And we are going to collect the information on market and the capacity of the plant and the input availability and the technology, location of the plant, and the manpower availability, financial availability, or the financial analysis. Everything will be done during feasibility analysis. Next comes is the feasibility analysis. It is nothing but the detailed analysis of different aspects with relation to economical, technical, managerial, organizational, commercial, and financial aspects. See here, P means before actual implementation, what I have to see. Feasibility system, the stage, actually if I implement what and all the things I have to see. Here, that's why they give more importance for all these aspects like economical, technical, managerial, organizational, commercial, and financial feasibility analysis. And many times they have to give more importance for this non-viable project. There may be, if any non-viable project, the parameters should be adjusted to make it viable. That does not mean that, see, feasibility means I want to start some project. Somebody may say that it is not a viable project because already so many players are there in the market. You cannot compete in the market. At that time, you have to give some interventions or you have to make some changes such that to make your project viable. And the last stage of feasibility analysis is project report. After making detailed study of pre and feasibility study, you have to come out with the report which enables the concerned authority to take a proper decision, make the project very efficient and set up an objective suitable according to that. And the next comes is the techno-economical assessment, that is TEA. As the name itself indicates, it is the assessment of technologically feasible and the economicality or the profitability of your project or the enterprise. Here, it is estimation of project demand potential and choice of optimal technologies are made here. It mainly involves the evaluation of economic feasibility of that project, whether it is going to give me the certain amount of returns for the investment which I have made, and investigate it is about the cash flow. That is, there should be some working capital for the project over the lifetime of that project, whether that cash flow is available or not. And evaluate the different technologies, scales, and application. For example, nowadays the technologies are changing every day. The good example is this is handloom. Handloom previously they used to do by hand itself only. They used to weave the saris or the clothes by handlooms only. Nowadays it has come with the power looms and the machineries has come. They don't want any skilled employees, just to switch on, manage the power, something minimal management is required, then you can come out with the huge output. For example, in a handloom, you can able to come out with one saree in 2 to 2.5 days. Whereas in a power loom, you can come out with 2 sarees in a day. That is what is the output. If that is the case, I can scale up my project and apply the new technology to compete with the competitor in the market. And comparing the economic quality of different technologies. It is when you want to apply to our condition, we must see the economic quality. Means if I am investing that much amount a power loom, whether that much returns is given to me or not, or it is better to go with the hand loom only. That is what you have to compare. And estimate the potential of demand of goods and services, choice of optimal technology, everything has to be done in technological and economical assessment. Here mainly they used to see what is the investment, what is the cash flow, how much the profit I am going to get, and what are the technology I am adapting. If any upgradation or new technology comes, if I am adapting, whether it is contributing to my profit or how much I have to invest on that. That will be checked in techno-economic assessment. And the next one is the project design and network analysis. This is nothing but how you have to move through the project. So that's why the project design and network analysis is called as the heart of the project. Here it consists of interrelated activities or chain of event has to be carried out during your project process. Here, individual activities and that relationship that can start producing a desirable results in the form of goods and services is established. For that, they used to have this PERT and CPM chart is used to establish this project design. And in this design, they are going to depict the various activities has to be carried out in this in a given period of time with the available resources will be mentioned here. See here, the network analysis is done mainly to make optimum utilization or to make a project profitable, more optimal or potential. Here, the optimal course action or execution of the project has to be done with a less time and with the resources available with. That is what is essential in the network analysis or project design. That means I'm going to design a project in such a way that the resources are not sufficient, or sometimes I have designed in such a way that the time given were too much. I could not able to come out with the product and go to the market in a seasonal or needy basis. If that is the case, then the project will going to fail. So that's why the project has to be designed by considering the time factor, resource factor that has to done in an efficient and effective way by interconnecting all the activities and by mentioning each and activities can be done and in each and every stage of the project. And the next comes is the input analysis. See, any project, the important thing requirement is the input. It is how much the quantity of input is required for my project that has to be evaluated here. If I want to start see, for example, handloom or a power loom enterprise, see what is the requirement of the silk for me? How many saris I will going to come out with in a day? And what is that? Everything I have to check. The input analysis has to be done, estimated, and I have to see that analysis. And it serves the purpose of identifying the nature of input. It includes both the quantity of input has to be provided every day without any interruptions. That means if I want to produce 10 saris per day, then the 10 saris silk has to come every day. If one day it stops, means that is a loss for me because I am wasting my human power, other resources, and also I could not able to fulfill the requirement in the market. So always in input analysis, first thing is how much is required and how regularly it has to be required, and that has to be seen. That means input has to be supplied regular basis and everyday basis and a required quantity. See, this during pre-investment stage, the project may require lesser amount of input only. But during the construction stage, it requires maximum amount of resources. And during normalization stage, the project will require inputs like raw materials, consumables, etc. on a recurring basis. See, pre-evaluation as a pre-investment stage means I have not yet started production, means raw material will be less. When I start potentiality, too much. But when I am normalizing, that means standardizing means I require the recurring raw materials only or inputs only. And the next comes is the financial analysis. That is the financial forecasting. What is the feasibility? Financial feasibility of the project has to be forecasted. And one must have a clear picture about what is the extent of investment made in a project and what is the desirable result I may expect from out of that project or an enterprise. I have invested 50 lakhs, means what is the amount of returns I expected from that by that. For that, you must have to estimate the project cost, operational cost, and what is the fund required to run a project. And based on this estimation, you have to estimate even the profitability of the project in terms of money. It should be very clear. See, whenever you want to start a project, you must have a clear-cut idea about what is your investment and what is the profitability or the monetary benefit you are expecting out of that project should be mentioned very efficiently and effectively. For that, they are having different techniques are used to identify that, like break-even analysis ratio analysis of financial feasibility of the project. Everything could be used to analyze the financial feasibility. And the next comes is the social cost benefit analysis. Whenever we are telling about the enterprise, the social responsibility of an entrepreneur or an enterprise or any business is essential. That means the social cost benefit analysis also has to be done. What is the impact of the project on the society as a whole? It has to be analyzed in terms of social profitability. For example, if I start a business, small business, I may give employment to many people in that area, like a starting of a garment, which will provide a bread and butter for many people. Like that, you have to analyze this, how much it is having a social profitability. Here, the greater emphasis has to be given on social objective analysis and less for profit motives. Here, in terms of social objective only, how much the quality of the life has been increased. Because of providing additional employment for the family members, the quality of the family has been increased. Maybe financial status has been increased. Bargaining power has been increased. Educational quality has been increased. So that is what has to be analyzed here. Here, they are going to, in this stage, what is the aim of a project in developing a society? They may give the secondary importance for the profitability, and they give more importance or keeping the project in view, the social objective will come to the primary. If you contribute something to the society, anyway, you are getting everything from the society, then only you can be very good. A good example for that is the Tata Group. They are always contributing for the social profitability. They are contributing for COVID, flood, and they are treating so many cancer patients. For example, Infosys. Let's see, we will see Infosys, Sudha Murthy. They are having their own foundation, helping each and everybody, because they are not bothered about how much the profit they are getting out of that social activities, but their main primary aim is to have mainly to analyze this, how much I am contributing for the societal development. That is what is called as a social cost benefit analysis. And the next is the pre-investment analysis. Pre-investment analysis, as the name itself indicates, before investing, we have to go for the analysis of financial commitment, or the how you are executing the project, whether it is agricultural industries or for the commercial, or I am going for the infrastructure sector. See, here the project proposal should get a formal and final shape at this stage. And here the result obtained in the above are consolidated and arrived to the conclusion. See, based on the previous analysis which you have done, the social analysis, financial analysis, input analysis, everything, after the analyzing everything, here the final results or the conclusion has to become what will be my project and how I have to invest, how I have to go through. And here I have to mention who are the sponsoring body, implementing body, external consulting agency. This has to be decided here, whether it has to be accepted or not is the secondary. And here you have to make investment decision also. See, pre-investment analysis means it is including everything based on the analysis of previous activities. You have to decide how much has to be invested, who are all our players, and what are all the conclusion after doing all the analysis, which type of the industries I want to start, or which type of the project I want to start. Everything has to be decided. See, project formulation is one step ahead actual implementation of the project. Here it will be the path for achieving the success of a project. Once is the planning, and then comes is the formulation, means we are practically thinking how it has to be done. Next comes is the implementation. So the formulation acts as a heart. See, it is a path which gives us a path through which we can move. So we have to decide our path in a very smooth and an efficient and effective way, that whenever the hurdles comes, risk comes, that has to be overcome or overlooked to proper formulation of the project. Thank you. I hope you have got the point. What is project formulation?